Hello everyone, it's Lou Fink with David James for Life the Basic Manual. We're now coming up to the 60th anniversary of the Munich air crash when 23 people tragically lost their lives, 8 of them United players, as well as 3 club officials. February the 6th, 1958 will remain the darkest day in the club's history when, following a refueling stop in Munich from the flight from Belgrade to Manchester, the Elizabethan aircraft carrying 44 people crashed into a perimeter fence. It then ploughed across a road, crashing into a house. Part of the wreckage then hit a tree. Another section struck a wooden shed which immediately exploded.
Okay, so I'm here with Lou and we're talking about the Munich air disaster. And Lou's got some memorabilia and he's got a poem that he's going to read us. But Lou, tell me what are these pictures behind you?
Right, the pictures behind you can see there's a picture from the last match that they played in, the lineup before the game, and also underneath them there's autographs of virtually everybody that was on the playing with the exception of 2 people, including other staff as well as the players. Also a programme from the 1958, the first match after the crash, when United played Sheffield Wednesday in the Cup with a scratch team, of course. We actually won that game against Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 and went on to reach the final that season where we lost 2-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. So it's now, as I say, the 60th anniversary.
They call them the Busby Babes. Where did the name come from and what happened after the crash? Where did they go to after the crash?
Right. Well, the Busby Babes was a name that came forward, I think it was a year or 2 before the crash. Somebody coined it in the newspapers, and of course 1 or 2 songs were made up about it. 17 players on the plane, 8 of which lost their lives. Jackie Blanche-Brouwer never played again, and there was a number of other players that really never got back to anything like the form that they were in. The possible exceptions being, of course, Sir Bobby Charlton and Harry Gregg. Harry played well into the 96s, and of course Bobby Charlton went on to achieve world acclaim with his 2 goals in the European Cup final 10 years later, and of course 2 years prior to that he became one of the famous squad of 22 to win the World Cup with England. The following poem pays tribute to the 8 players who lost their lives in the tragedy. Ode to the Babes. It happened 60 years ago on a Munich runway in the driving snow. England's finest football team flying high, but their plane would never reach the sky. A tragedy that should never have been, how the cruelest of fates would intervene. Roger Byrne, a local lad who captained the team, lightning quick and clever, a leader supreme. Jeff Bent, Salford-born left-back, played just 12 games, not to be forgotten amongst much bigger names. Eddie Coleman, Snake's hips they called him, he dazzled the crowd. The cheeky chappie from Ordsall, who made us so proud. Mark Jones, tough as old boots, he played without fear. With true Yorkshire grit, how we all shed a tear. Liam Billy Whelan, he hailed from Dublin, so gifted and neat, a marksman so lethal, with the ball at his feet. Tommy Taylor, the Barnsley battler, how the goals used to flow. The World Cup was beckoning, but we'll never know. David Pegg, swift as an arrow, he'd soar down the wing. The Doncaster kid, who made your heart sing. Duncan Edwards, a colossus with everything, truly one of the greats. The dynamo from Dudley passed through heaven's gates. 23 people would die that day, returning from Belgrade, for their souls we all pray. Sir Matt Busby's babes, united forever, their names will live on forever and ever. Amen.